Hello everyone, my name is John. Today I will tell you how to set up an integration to transfer new leads from Webflow to Freshworks. This is necessary to automatically transfer new leads from Webflow to other systems. For example, in Freshworks you can create new contacts and work with them conveniently in the future. Now let's move on to the setup. First, you need to create a new connection. Next, select the data source system, Webflow. Now, select the action, Get Form Data. At this stage you need to connect your Webflow account to the ApiX-Drive service. In this window you must specify the login and password of your Webflow personal account. At this stage we provide ApiX-Drive access to your workspace Webflow. When the connected login appears in the list of active accounts, select it and click Continue. At this stage, we select the website from which we will receive new leads. At this stage you can set up a data filter. In this case there is no need for this, so we also click Continue. At this point you should see data for one of your Webflow leads. If there is no data at this stage, you need to fill out a form on the Webflow website. To do this, go to your Webflow personal account. When the form on the site is completed, we return to the ApiX-Drive system and continue configuration. When the Webflow lead is displayed at this stage, click Continue. At this point, setting up the Webflow data source has been successfully completed. Now you need to move on to setting up the data destination. Choose Freshworks system. Next you need to select an action, Create Contact. At this stage you need to connect your Freshworks account to the ApiX-Drive system. In this window you need to specify the domain and token. In order to obtain this data, go to your Freshworks personal account. Copy the domain from the address bar without additional characters. Now let's go to Settings. API Settings tab. Copy the API key and paste it into the appropriate field in the ApiX-Drive system. When the required fields are filled in, click Continue. When the connected login appears in the list of active accounts, select it and click Continue. At this point you see Freshworks fields for creating new contacts. You can assign variables from Webflow to these fields. In order to do this, click in the field and select a variable from the drop-down list. When all required fields are filled in, click Continue. At this point you see an example of the data that will be sent to Freshworks in the form of new contacts for each new lead from Webflow. If you are not satisfied with something, click Edit and you will go back a step. In order to check the correctness of the settings, click Send Test Data to Freshworks. After successful submission, go to Freshworks and check the result. If you are satisfied with everything, return to the ApiX-Drive system and continue setting up. This completes the setup of Freshworks as a data destination. Now you need to enable auto-update and select an update interval, for example, once every 5 minutes. That's all. I wish you successful integration settings and good luck.